birds. I wish I could fly. Well, birds can fly, but they can't surf.
Hawaii Surf Session Report, June 22nd, 2006. It's officially summer now in the Northern Hemisphere, so let's check out the South Shore here at Diamond Head Cliffs, where the expected swell is starting to show. And so are these branches. But it's hard to get around these branches because you're literally sitting on the side of a cliff to shoot this. And if you don't line up your shot right and you zoom in, you may end up getting all branch. But branches aren't so bad. These trees provide shelter for this nutmeg mannequin and saffron finch. They're just watching the surf today. And you can tell by these waves that the wind kind of blowing in from the east at about 5 miles an hour, and it was picking up as the day went along. And so were the waves because of this rumored swell. So let's go on down the beach and see what we find here. Nutmeg's going to take off and lead the way. Saffron's going to follow. And we're going to keep it in pairs and see what else we can find out on the beach here in Waikiki, where the waves are coming in at sandbars here. Pretty decent, maybe 2 to 3, possible 4s. Quick little cheater 5 there. This guy's usually a sponger, he tells me. How about an eyewitness surf report?
Hey, how's it? My name's Junior. Surfing out here at sandbars. Waves maybe about 3 to 4 feet. Not bad. The waves coming up when the tides come in later. High tide is 3 o'clock, so maybe about lunchtime. It's all good.
Right on.
Tomorrow will be better. It's Saturday.
Alright. Sounds like the first weekend of this summer is going to be a good weekend, where the waves build up and the winds die down. I want to thank my friends the Drifting Sands for contributing this music. It's called Surf Pop, and I hope you liked it. There's Junior finishing into the beach. But we're not finished. We're going on to part 2 of the life of a surfboard. In this part, we're going to get to see how a board is made, from foam block to shiny board. But before we do that, let's go back and take a look at how foam is made.
We start off with a raw material that's almost like a granular substance. We introduce steam, let it sit overnight, and it expands to more of a bead size, lighter and fluffier. And then once that's aged a little bit, we can put it into a block form. So that's about as much as we can do with the foam. Now it's up to the shaper, and we'll hand it off to him.
Hi, I'm Brian from Island Glass, and this is the second stage of the surfboard.
Island Glass Surfboards is a family-run business out on the west side.
This is Samantha, my helper. She's 3.5, and she's going to help me today gluing up foam. This is a PVC stringer. We're going to use a expanding urethane glue to glue it to the foam.
You may have noticed that your surfboard is in 2 halves actually. There's a stringer that runs in between, and that in this case is going to be made of PVC. In most cases it's made of wood.
Putting the 2 halves together.
Once the glue's on both sides of the stringer, you put both halves together and then you clamp it down. And then you gotta add a couple more clamps, and Brian's got some help.
Dad?
Hey, you ready? You gonna put yours on now?
Well, maybe he's gonna help her, but at least she's learning.
The 12-3 blank is complete, and now we're ready to go to shaping.
On down the hallway, we find the shaper putting on some midpoint measurements to a board he's working on. This is Paulo Cristo. He's the shaper for Island Glass. Uncle Paulo is going to show us a little bit of the tools of the trade. These are planers, and this is the one he's going to use to knock this board out. Paulo is a modern-day sculptor. He's trying to free the form from the foam, or as it were. The foam shavings, they fly everywhere, so you got to wear a mask and goggles. And at some point, he's going to figure he's done and call in the boss.
Nice flat deck, old retro peak nose.
Looks like it's ready for the next stage, which is the painting. This is where Brian's wife comes in.
Hi, I'm Juliana. I'm the artist for Island Glass Surfboards, and this is a custom order that I'm working on. This is a mermaid that I'm going to be doing for a customer. She's kind of swimming in between a little rock valley. I've got some green grass that'll go here, some finger coral and fan coral, some sea life here, a little eel, and a taco here towards the bottom of the picture.
Taco is Hawaiian for octopus, by the way.
We're going to finish putting on the rest of the paint, and after the paint's all finished and dried for about a day, we're going to send it off to the glassing room to get glassed and finished up.
Now the next stage.
Here we are, we're getting ready to glass the bottom of an epoxy surfboard. This is just regular fiberglass cloth, 6-ounce cloth. Roll it up, and here are laminates. Getting ready to place some underneath the cloth. And you see our fin systems in the board. We like to put this into the epoxy board, a lot stronger.
After the glassing, then the next stage.
This is called the hot coat. We're putting this on top of the epoxy glass part so you don't get fiberglass rubbed into your stomach as you're paddling out.
It's called a hot coat because the resin emits heat while it's in its liquid form.
This is the part of resin that we shine and sand, gives it its luster.
But you gotta work really fast because when it cools down, it hardens.
The hot coat here makes the surfboard not look so fuzzy, and it fills in all the gaps and stuff, makes it look like a surfboard again. From here we go to sanding.
Let's hop on over to the sanding room. I wish they made those hoppers for big people too. Over here in the sanding room, we got this giant fan to suck out all the dust created by the sanders. You don't want to breathe that in. And you gotta use it to knock off the rough spots.
This is actually a gloss finish. We're getting ready to sand it and polish it for gloss.
This is an important part of making a board. You gotta sand it down so it's smooth. You don't want to be in the water with a bunch of rough spots getting scratched up and cut by your own board.
We gotta explore the whole board with our hands to feel any of the bumps.
Brian stands by his work. So does his daughter.
Hey, how long you been surfing?
Long time.
After you sand it and you wash it and rinse it, it's the last stage, polishing. You get a nice big buffer like this and you can't go wrong.
That's what rubs it shiny, actually.
Surfboards come finished in all different styles, from the sanded to the brush look and the polished look. Some people really dig this shiny glass style.
This is the finished product. Now it's ready for a surf shop.
And that will take us to part 3 in the life of a surfboard, but you'll have to stay tuned. Don't forget our HSSR wave of the day. It's going to go to this guy over at Sandbars. He's bodyboarding on a wave way out on the horizon. He's going to get a long ride and start off with a 360. Meets up with fellow spongers, does a spinner, drops in on their wave, takes off, and rules it like a champ. There's a little splash for you. This is what I thought was really cool. He's going to do a 360 with the board under his belly. Watch. Boom, and he pops right back on board. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did making it. If you'd like to stop by my website, drop a tip in the tip jar and make a donation. It keeps the show on the road. Thank you very much for downloading another edition of Hawaii Surf Session Report. Aloha. All right.